She was a billionaire, powerful, fearless. But the moment she walked into her own house, her janitor froze, grabbed her hand, and whispered, "Shut up, don't say a word." What he saved her from will haunt you long after this story ends. Like this video and subscribe to Inspiration Stories Box now, and don't blink till the end. The warning that made no sense. Evelyn Cross never came home early. As the CEO of a billion-dollar real estate empire, her days were scheduled down to the minute. Boardrooms, contracts, investors, her life was precision and control. That's why even she was surprised when she canceled her last meeting and drove home before sunset. The mansion gates opened silently. Too silently. Evelyn frowned. Normally, music played softly in the background. Tonight, there was nothing, just an eerie stillness that crawled up her spine. She stepped inside. The lights were dim. Her heels clicked sharply against the marble floor. "Hello?" she called. Before the word fully left her mouth, a hand grabbed her wrist. "Shut up! Don't say a word!" Her heart slammed against her ribs. It was Miguel, the janitor. He had worked in her house for years, quiet, polite, invisible like most people in his position. His eyes were wide with fear, his finger pressed tightly against his lips. Evelyn yanked her hand back. "Miguel, what the hell?" He shook his head violently, almost pleading. "Please," he whispered, "if they hear you, it's over." Her billionaire confidence cracked. "They?" she mouthed. Miguel slowly pointed toward the hallway leading to her private office. That's when she heard it. A low male voice. Laughing. Then another. Her blood turned cold. Evelyn hadn't invited anyone. Miguel leaned closer, his voice barely audible. "They came an hour ago, said they were waiting for you." "Why didn't you call the police?" she whispered. Miguel swallowed hard. "They took my phone, and they said if I made a sound, you'd die." Evelyn felt the room spin. From the hallway came footsteps, slow, confident, like men who believed they owned the place. Miguel grabbed her sleeve again, this time shaking. "I cleaned quietly," he said. "I listened. They're not here to rob you." Evelyn's stomach dropped. "They're here to end you." Her knees weakened. Years of threats, lawsuits, enemies she brushed off as noise. Now they were in her house. Miguel guided her toward the back staircase, the servants' passage no one ever noticed. As they moved, a shadow passed under the office door. Someone was right there. Evelyn held her breath so tightly her chest burned. Then Miguel stopped suddenly. Too late. The man she never truly saw. A gun cocked. "Thought you could sneak away?" a voice mocked from behind. Miguel stepped in front of Evelyn without thinking. "Please," he said, trembling but firm. "She hasn't seen your faces. Let her go." The men laughed. Evelyn stared at Miguel, the janitor who earned barely enough to survive, now standing between her and death. That's when the sirens began. Red and blue lights flashed through the windows. Police. The men cursed. One ran. Another tried to grab Evelyn, but Miguel tackled him with a strength she never imagined. Within seconds, officers flooded the house. The threat was over. Evelyn collapsed onto the floor, shaking. Miguel sat nearby, blood trickling from his forehead. "You could have left," she whispered. "You could have saved yourself." Miguel smiled weakly. "My daughter works nights. If something happened to you, this house would be blamed. I needed you alive." Her chest tightened. The police explained everything. A former business partner, a failed deal, a planned murder disguised as a robbery. Miguel had overheard it all while cleaning. He stayed. He waited. He risked everything. The next morning, news outlets called Evelyn a survivor, but she called Miguel. She invited him into her office, the same one he had cleaned silently for years. "I never saw you, and that's my shame." Miguel lowered his head. "I was just doing my job." "No," she said softly, "you did more." Evelyn made him head of security training across all her properties, full benefits, education for his children. But more than that, she told his story. At a shareholder meeting, Evelyn stood and said, "A janitor saved my life because he paid attention when no one else did." Miguel stood in the back of the room, overwhelmed. That night, Evelyn returned home again. This time she wasn't afraid of the silence. She understood it. If this story touched your heart, like the video and subscribe to Inspiration Stories Box, because stories like these remind us heroes don't wear titles.